Gall darn it, that Jeffrey Dahmer decided to plead guilty. Really disappointed me because that trial was so short. This guy was the great hope of TV movie producers everywhere. In fact, he was so disgusting he may have even made it to the big screen. And by the way, before I get into this, why is it that all these guys are from Wisconsin? America's original cannibal monster, Ed Gein, he was a handyman from Plainfield, Wisconsin. He's the one who used to dance around in the moonlight wearing the skins of the women he'd carved up and dressed like deer. Remember Ed? Fun Ed, they called him. He was the inspiration for Psycho, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Deranged, and Silence of the Lambs. So, just when we started to run out of Ed Gein material, up pops this new guy, and he's from Wisconsin too. Somebody check the cheese up there. Anyhow, now that Jeffrey Dahmer has become the #1 man we love to hate, everybody's starting to write these articles about serial killers, products of the 20th century, and you can hear people shaking their heads, especially old people, saying, what is this world coming to? These people are out there multiplying. They're everywhere. They're hacking up bystanders left and right. What is this world coming to? Well, I've got an answer for the question everybody's always asking about why there are no serial killers before the 20th century. See, because whenever anybody says that, they're implying that something is wrong with the modern mind or the American mental health program. Bull stuff. These guys have always been around. The only difference between now and 100 years ago is that we used to catch them after the first gall-darn murder. Now we just go bumbling around, dum-da-dum-da-dum-da-dum, like Elmer Fudd, watching these guys walk down the street saying, wow, that's funny. That's the 34th 18-year-old girl who's gone into that house this month. Must be some party in there. Or we're out mowing the yard and we catch sight of this quiet, mild-mannered loner who lives next door and we say, good job on those rose bushes. And he says, I shear from the bottom. Most people shear from the top. Do you shear from the top or the bottom? And so you go in your house and you say, honey, you know that guy next door? I think he's riding around on his temporary spare tire. But you don't really care, right? You don't say something like, hey, man, what you just said don't make a lick of sense and it's creepy, you know? Why are you talking about shearing from the bottom, shearing from the top? I don't know top shearing, bottom shearing. Just what are you driving at, Buster? In other words, you don't ever say anything that's going to freak the guy out, make him do something stupid or say something stupid so he'll accidentally spill the beans about the old lady's body that he stuffed like a taxidermist and mounted over a tool rack in his basement. Do you know what I mean? There aren't any more serial killers today than there ever were. It's just that we used to say, hey, boy, hold on. You're talking like you just dropped a transmission. Come over here and let me take a look at those 3-inch bite marks on your forearms. Now we just say, I wish that guy would move to New Jersey. See, it's only after the 48th body turns up in the dumpster that somebody says, dear, would you call the sanitation department? There's never enough room for our hefty bags out there. I think our neighbors may be in violation of the littering code. And then you get to be on a current affair the next day. You say, he was a little strange. He was always a little strange, you'll tell him. Well, if he was always a little strange, why didn't you say something while he was just a garden variety murderer? Besides everything else, you let the guy go to the point where he gets the book contract. You ever notice they don't have any serial killers in primitive places like the Amazon jungle? That's because people are paying attention. That's my opinion anyhow.